You are about to put yourself out there. Launch your coaching program, post your expertise, raise your prices, call yourself an expert, or at least present yourself as such. And then the thought hits: who am I to do this? I'm not qualified enough. I don't have enough experience. There are people way more credentialed than me. What if someone calls me out? What if they ask me a question I can't answer? So you don't launch, you don't post, you don't claim your expertise. You stay small, you stay quiet, you stay humble. But really, you're just hiding. I mean, let's call it as it is, okay? And this is the imposter syndrome loop. And it's not about lacking qualifications. It's about your nervous system convincing you that you're not allowed to be seen as an expert, because being seen as an expert feels dangerous. So before we go any further, hi, I'm Maya, and this is a series where I break down the 12 most common subconscious patterns that are keeping you stuck and invisible. This is pattern number 5, and I'm posting an episode every Wednesday. So if you have not yet, please do subscribe, engage, comment, share. I always love to hear from you. Okay, now, what it is. Imposter syndrome is a subconscious pattern where you believe you're a fraud, that you don't actually deserve the success, the authority, or the visibility that you have or about to have. It really shows up as something like, who am I to teach this? I'm not an expert. I need more training, credentials before I can share this. Or what if someone finds out I don't actually know what I'm doing? And it's not really objective reality. You could be incredibly qualified and still feel like an imposter. In fact, some of the most qualified people I know feel like imposters every day, because imposter syndrome is not about what you know. It's about your nervous system's fear of being exposed as a fraud. Although you're not a fraud, but that's really just how your nervous system is processing it. It really believes something like, oh, if I claim authority, someone will challenge me, someone will expose me, someone will prove that I'm not good enough. So it keeps you in a constant state of self-doubt, second guessing, and hiding your gifts. So let me share a little perspective reframe through a story that I have lived. When I built my first startup, I was 23 years old, still studying my master's at Cambridge University. And all of a sudden, I found myself leading a team of real expert, like bankers, behavioral scientists, that were twice my age, like literally. And I was freaking out. I was in rooms with investors, I was pitching, I was doing pitching competitions. And I kept on feeling like an imposter. Like, who am I to be in these rooms as the youngest woman and really not as qualified, quote unquote, or not having as much experience? And I remember one day a mentor said something that changed everything. He told me something like, imposter syndrome is often a sign that you are bringing a fresh perspective, that you're not embedded in an old system, that you are seeing in from the outside. And then he said something like even more powerful. It's like, you don't actually need to be the expert so soon, because experts defend what already exists. They stay stuck in old ways. They stand against innovation. Whereas outsiders question it, shift it, rebuild it from the core. So what you are perceiving as an imposter syndrome is actually a superpower. It's what is making you innovate. It's what is making you build what you are building right now. So this is something for you to keep in mind whenever that feeling kicks in of, oh, I'm not qualified enough, or there are people that are more experienced. Yes, surely there are people that are more experienced, as in all things in life. Like, we are 7 billion people in this planet, and we all come from different backgrounds, different experiences, have different ways to relate to life and different perceptions. So of course, there will always be people more experienced than you, but it's not about who's more experienced. It's really about what perception are you bringing in. And that perception is actually your superpower. Now, from a neuroscience perspective, here's what's happening in your brain. When you think about stepping into your expertise, i.e., launching a program, for example, or like even posting on social media, talking about something, or calling yourself a coach or an expert, your amygdala is the part of your brain that scans for threats, starts scanning, and it finds one. It always finds one. And it says something like, if I claim this authority and I'm wrong, I will be humiliated, exposed, rejected. And so your brain floods with cortisol, which is the stress hormone. And you start feeling anxious, shaky, doubtful. But here's the fascinating part, okay? A lot of research shows that high achievers are more likely to experience imposter syndrome. Like really, and that's what I said at the beginning. Sometimes some of the most accomplished people are the ones who experience imposter syndrome the most. And that's why like you would see a lot of idiots online that are selling coaching programs for like 6 figures and that they have 0 credentials. And when you listen to them talk, you're like, really? How is this person like able to position themselves as an expert and make so much money from it and grow such a big platform? It's because they don't have that internal law blocking them or that internal voice blocking them. And actually, I learned this very recently from an incredible hypnotherapist, which is this concept of having internal laws. So you have these kind of like moral laws that you develop when you're a kid between the age of 0 to 7, and that are ruling your life through your subconscious. And these laws are really preventing you from going for it, from going fully out there. And some of them are the ones behind this imposter syndrome, because it's really you thinking, who am I to do this? Who am I to charge this? Who am I to get paid like this? Who am I to say this? Who am I to put myself out there? And you kind of like justify it through this almost like moral high ground. Like, well, I'm just humble. I'm not going to market myself. Like I am so beyond the sleazy marketing or sales that other people are doing, you know? But actually, that's just imposter syndrome in disguise. There is really no morality to you not putting yourself out there or not charging what you're worth. On the contrary, you're doing everyone a disservice. And this is the biggest like selfishness that you can have, is to not put yourself out there, because you are how do we say, like you are stopping a lot of people from experiencing your voice and your transformation. And that is extremely, extremely selfish from you. Okay. So if anything, this is your sign to start putting yourself out there, whether you're feeling this imposter syndrome or not. Remember that we are all guiding each other just from the few steps that we are ahead, you know, one another, or that we are taking different paths that at the end of the day complement each other. But what you have might be something that someone is looking for. And that does not mean that either or is better than the other. It's just that you have different experiences that complement each other, and your experience can help someone else. So this is really the best way to see it. And like coming back to this idea of why high achievers are more likely to experience imposter syndrome, it's because your brain is engaged in something that is called discounting the positive. Okay, like your prefrontal cortex tries to remind you, you do know this, you've helped people, you have results, but again, like that part of your brain that scans for threats will activate confirmation bias. It will filter out evidence of your competence and amplifies any proof that you are a fraud, just because this is how your subconscious has been wired when you were a kid, or this is what your internal laws are guiding through. So it will find things like, Or remember that time someone asked you something and you didn't know the answer, or like, look at that person, she has more credentials than you, or you've only been doing this for X amount of years. Meanwhile, the actual evidence of your expertise, you really dismissed it as luck, or people are just being nice, or like, oh, this was like a one-time thing. And this is really your brain's negativity bias on overdrive. It's designed to keep you safe from social rejection by preventing you from claiming too much power. There is this neural pathway within you that believes that if you put yourself out there and if you present yourself as an expert, although you fully deserve it and you fully like are worth to claim that space, you will be rejected, and rejection for the primal survival brain means death. So that's basically what is happening to you. And obviously, like, imposter syndrome has also a very distinct somatic signature. Like, you can start shaking or trembling when you're about to claim your expertise. You can have this like sinking feeling in your stomach, like you are in trouble, or like you're about to get caught. Your throat gets like really constricted. You literally can't speak your truth, or like your voice gets super small and shaky. Your chest gets super tight. You can't breathe. You start shrinking your posture. And it's really about like your body making itself smaller, and like just this contraction because your nervous system is activated. You are anxious, stressed, alert, and it's trying to stay small and like agreeable at the same time. Like you're activated, but at the same time, you're trying to stay small. So that kind of like comes out in these somatic stuff, I was gonna say. In this somatic way. Like that's really what it is. And again, it's all about your body, your subconscious screaming danger, I'm about to be exposed, while simultaneously saying, don't be too big, don't take up space, stay humble so they don't attack you. So you're really revved up with anxiety, but shrinking yourself to stay small. So it creates like friction and contraction in the midst of you. And as I said, it is a survival strategy, often rooted in childhood experiences where claiming your power or being too much led to punishment, jealousy, or people pulling away from you. And your body really learned that visibility and authority equal danger, small and staying humble is safe. That's it. That's what it is. Now, from an energetical, spiritual perspective, the imposter syndrome is disowning your power. In metaphysical terms, you are collapsing your energy field. You are making yourself smaller than you actually are. You have the knowledge, you have the gifts, the authority, but you are refusing to own them. That's it. You're vibrating at the frequency of I'm not worthy instead of I am sovereign in my gifts. And in the chakra system, which is the 7 energy systems that we have in our body, your solar plexus, the 3rd chakra, is in depletion. Okay? Like there is a lack of personal power, confidence, self-worth. Your throat chakra, which is all about self-expression, is constricted. So inability to speak your truth and claim your voice. And then your crown chakra is disconnected. You forget that your gifts come through you, not from you. If we go into this concept and idea that we are all only channels, then really imposter syndrome is merely a construct, because it's never your gifts. It's the divine, God's gifts channeling through you. And you are just opening yourself up to share those gifts as a channel. That's it. So it's really not about you. So when you think about it, like it's really arrogant to have imposter syndrome, because who the fuck are you to think of yourself that you're an expert, or that you need to be an expert to even start with, right? So yeah, so your energy becomes apologetic, contracted, even when you're sharing something that you deeply know, and people can feel that. So it undermines your message even before you speak. Like, that's literally it. So to break imposter syndrome from an energetical standpoint, you need to expand your field, own your sovereignty, and remember that your gifts are not about you. They are about being at service. And that you, my friend, is are only a channel. Okay. So how do you break through from imposter syndrome? As I always say, the best way to break from a pattern is to first identify it and then break it by choosing differently. So how do you identify imposter syndrome? The next time you're about to step into your authority and the thought of who am I shows up, pause, and then ask yourself, is this thought based on facts or fear? What's the actual evidence of my competence? Results, testimonials, knowledge, experience. Lived experience is totally fine, by the way. Am I confusing feeling like an imposter with actually being an imposter, right? And then you name it out loud. Like, you have to face it. You have to claim that this is the imposter syndrome. Okay. Now, if you want to take it a little bit deeper, you rewire the pattern. You can use things like self-hypnosis. You can use things like energy activations. You can use things like somatic rewiring. Something that is pretty fun to do is the Superman pose. Whenever you feel like shrinking, you can really stand up and then like place both hands like this and like put your chest forward and really like breathe as you do that, because that will help you activate somatically and like at least overcome for that moment the imposter syndrome. But if you want deeper support, you can grab my visibility portal below, which will guide you through an energy activation really directed at the imposter syndrome, and you can do it whenever that comes up. So once you have identified, you can rewire. And once you have done that, you start choosing differently. Okay. So you can start taking action from a place of claimed authority. Instead of who am I to do this, you can start asking, who am I not to do this? And this is the thing where the real arrogance is in not sharing your gifts, your knowledge, your expertise, not the other way around. Imagine how many people you are doing a disservice to by not putting yourself out there. Your frequency is very unique, and it is meant to serve a very specific set of people. So if you have knowledge that could help someone and you don't share it because of imposter syndrome, you are withholding your gifts, and that's not humility, that's hiding. And that is the biggest disservice that you can do to the world. So here, choose one bold action to do. Post your expertise without disclaimers. Launch your program without waiting for one more certification. Call yourself an expert, a coach, a teacher without apologizing. Do it within the next 24 hours. Whatever that action that you've been withholding because of that imposter syndrome, I really invite you to like pinpoint it and do it, and like you choose differently, right? Shed light into it, choose differently. And really, like, you know how many people on social media call themselves coach while they have 0 certification? They're out there helping millions of people and making millions out of it. And what's the difference? One had the guts to go for it, and the other is sitting in front of me watching this video right now. I mean, I love you for doing that. Thank you. And please do share with me your comments, your thoughts, and subscribe if you have not to. But it's really like, I'm urging you, I'm not inviting you anymore. I'm urging you to take action. Whatever that you have been putting off, go and do it now. It is time. It is time. This is how you prove to your nervous system that claiming your authority is safe. Okay. And each time You step into your power and nothing bad happens. You weaken the loop until you break it. So this is it for today. The next episode will come to you next Wednesday, and it will be about the shame spiral. So get ready to slay some shame. And again, if you are not subscribed yet, please do. I love to have your support, and please comment. I love to hear from you. And if you want to go deeper and rewire the loop at the root, you can grab the visibility portal below. Love you, and I'll see you next week.